Hi, we're going to show a brief video of just some of the overviews of the sumavisor and how it can work for you. First thing I'm going to do is log in with this username singlehop, and I made a password for him. First thing you notice is that there is the username is displayed up here. Then you have a nice little icon. You can change that profile picture to anything you want. Just browse for whatever it is you want. And then you can go and see different things. The other thing you can do is you can see the different parts about what this user has done. In particular, you can actually go see what all the users of the systems have done recently. So I can go over here and look at the Valid ID and say, okay, well, what's he been up to lately? And as I look here, I can see that he logged in, he removed a node range, and did a couple of these actions. So you can filter by users, but you can also filter by names. So there's a node range that we have named Penguin. We just have some Penguin machines. That's the name of the name. So you can enter regular expressions there and actually show you all the different nodes. So I have two machines. One's name is Penguin01. One's name is Penguin02. And these are the images that are on them. Right now Penguin01 doesn't seem to have anything registered, and Penguin02 is running ESXi. So the basic use case we want to show is how to install a operating system on a machine. And the first thing we would do is we would go to the image catalog, and because we want to create a new one or possibly want to edit a old one. So the ISOs right here show all the different operating systems that I have the ability to install. I can install Scientific Linux, CentOS 5.5, I have ESX, Fedora 14, Red Hat, and Windows 2008. And then these are the different install templates that somebody has already created. Right now one's being built. We can install any one of these images right now, or we can go through and edit it. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to create a new Windows template, and we're going to call this, and this is a Windows unattended file. So it comes up with the XML template that is the default for this is something that we know that works. There's a couple things in here that will show that it will make it unique to different nodes. For example, you can see the, let's see if we can find it right here. For example, there's drivers that show where to get the updated drivers for a machine if it installs. A lot of times with Windows Server 2008, there would be drivers that wouldn't come core inside of the product, and just putting them in this directory will make it so that they can install. The other thing is the computer name right here. You can see that it pulls it from a table that we have. So there's a number of these templates. So I'll call this one WinTest 6, I guess, and I'll create this template. And now this template, WinTest 6, is ready to be used. If there's something we wanted to change inside of that XML file, then you can go back through here and change it, and it keeps information on the different revisions that you've done. I'm going to leave it the way it is, and then I'm going to provision a node. So one of the nodes I can do is I can just click on my nodes and go to all of them, take a look and see all the nodes that I have, and decide which one I want to do. These are actually all the only machines that I have. In this case, there's a physical machine, Penguin01 and Penguin02. So maybe I'll try to provision it on Penguin01. And when I pull up Penguin01, there's also some other actions I can do. Notice I can turn it on or off. I can recycle the power. I can do things like collecting things from the BMC. So I can grab the inventory of this node if I want to see what the service processor information is on this, or the BIOS. Different machines will return different information. Some machines will return MAC addresses. The other thing you can see is the vital, so I can see what kind of temps are on there and fan speeds and things like that. And the other thing too you notice is you can actually do this for multiple nodes. So it's not just Penguin01, but I can do all these actions for Penguin01 through Penguin02 as well. So I can say, all right, let's do all these. I guess it's not. I misspelled it wrong, didn't I? So that's why I like to do regular expressions and just open, and that way it'll get me all the machines in that node range. You can see that there's two of them. They're all on, and each one has different operating system images on there. So if I want to provision, so I can then look back here at my different nodes, and I wanted to provision Penguin 01 with this operating system. So I'm going to go to Penguin 01, and I'm going to say provision, and let's try to find out which is the one that we actually created, because I have a whole bunch of images down here, and I think I named it WinTest6. Yeah, so it's this last one right here. So what this will do is this will reboot the machine, and it will now provision. So it asks confirmation, sets it up, and then it will go through and provision the machine with Windows. It's difficult to see on these machines because I don't have any remote console. So what the cool thing about the sumavisor does is that it actually gives you the ability to create virtual machines. So what I can do is I can add a node, and I'm going to add a virtual machine, and I'm going to call this one Win. I'll call it 401, and I have a range of IP addresses that I can choose from here too. And it's automatically finds out that Penguin 02 is our hypervisor. In this case, we're going to be using VMware, and we probably need a pretty good sized disk for Windows to install. And you probably will just set up the default stuff, make my memory a little bit bigger, maybe about 4 gigabytes. Probably 2 CPUs is probably fine, and it has a default network that it goes into, and all these things can be configured to tell which network to go into. So after I create this node, what you see is it's actually going out to vCenter and doing this. So I need to go in here and open this up. So here it created it in vCenter for you. It just did it right now. And what we want to do is we actually want to provision it. And so what I'll do here is I'll say okay, and it collected the MAC address, it inserted it into DNS and into DHCP as well. And now we'll go and try it and install our WinTest operating system on it. And then it goes through and provisions. And here we see it start up, and you see it do the network boot. And it goes through and uses gPXE. It grabs the appropriate files, and you gotta follow along here. As it starts grabbing them, you'll notice that it starts going through the Windows install. And this actual machine right here was configured with this machine right here. This one that I'm on is VC01, was configured with this sumavisor. So here it loads the files, and you'll see that it just goes through the standard Windows unattended install. It works pretty powerful. You can do a whole bunch of machines. You can do one at a time. You can do different ranges. The other things that we have on here, so you have the ability to create multiple images for all kinds of different operating systems. The users I showed you. You have different things that happen to different nodes, and then you have settings, and the settings are just some things that you might want to configure. So this is just an IP address range that you can use. The other thing that the sumavisor has is it has the ability to give you XML information. So if I view my toolbar, navigation bar here, I can go to any of the nodes and I can actually get XML information about it. And so this machine was called, what do we call that machine? It was Win401. So I can Win401.xml, and what it'll give me is, oh, I'm sorry, I have to do nodes, don't I? And this is part of the API, so you'll be able to get all this information from the nodes, and you can actually turn machines off and on, and we've published an API on sumavi.com that will be available to you later on. And then just for NOC operations, you can monitor all the different things that are there. And here you see that my dashboard, I have all these different, I have 6 different operating system images installed. Well, actually 5. One of them, then we have this unknown group as well, where these guys exist, but we don't know what they're installed to. And then these machines are on, and these 2 machines are unknown. I can go to the unknown nodes and see, well, who are they that I don't know the power status for. I look and I see that it's this Win301 machine, just some other machine that we had, and then the switch one, which the switch doesn't have a power method, so naturally we can't tell. Finally, so I can go to all the images here, and you can just see the different actions that have been done. And I hope this gives you a pretty good overview of what the sumavisor can do. Again, we scale very largely because of our history buried in XCAD, and the things that we've done I think are pretty impressive. So we hope that this video has been instructive, and thank you for your time.